This is What's Wild in New Hampshire by wildlife biologist Eric Orp. Hey, I'm down in the Region 3 office in Durham, New Hampshire Fish and Game Region 3 office. I'm with Jessica Carloni. She is the current waterfowl biologist, but looking at her office, she's got some other things in here. It's kind of a cool place. This My office was right next door to here for the last 20 years, but I've been retired for 15 years from this place. But Jessica was here before I left, and this is Women's History Month. Let's tell me a little bit about your history, Jessica. You first became a marine biologist,
Yeah, I started.
and then on to the waterfowl biologist, and you got some cool projects going on. Let's talk about your history.
Okay. I started with the department in 2005 and the Marine Division. So I was doing all sorts of different stuff, fyke netting, rainbow smelt, working with American eels, and studying northern shrimp. Um,
So small staff here. Everybody kind of gives a hand with most everything, right?
yeah. So we all help out each other with all the projects. And then
Did you set out to be a marine biologist as a young lady?
no, I wanted to be a wildlife biologist, but
Okay.
sometimes you got to play the game and get your foot in the door. And yeah, I just would bug all you guys all the time to go out duck banding or goose banding, and to help out with any wildlife project I could. And then to be a wildlife biologist, you really needed a master's degree at the time. So they started setting a precedent where all the wildlife biologists really had to have a master's degree. So Christine Rhines urged me to get my master's if I really wanted to
The
be a
moose
wildlife
biologist.
biologist.
Yep.
So yeah, I studied the terns out at the shoals for my
Oh,
master's
oh,
project.
that's
So
right.
that was really interesting and learned a bunch there. Um, and then yeah, Ed Robinson retired as the waterfowl biologist, and I
So that's probably a
They got
dozen
it.
years ago. You've probably been at it.
yeah
Quite a while.
yeah. So it was a good time.
So you were
It's been
just
really
saying you had an
interesting.
interesting project with some hen mallards. What's going on with that, and why?
Yeah, so the mallard population in the northeast U.S. has been declining, whereas the eastern Canada population has been stable to increasing. So we're really trying to figure out the disparity there. So these little backpack transmitters, they're very lightweight. So we're doing a big collaborative study from Florida to New Brunswick, Canada partners, all along the Atlantic Flyway to try to figure out why our mallards are decreasing. So you attach these to mallard hens with some black elastic backpack harness essentially. So we capture them during our winter banding operations. And so we currently have 7 out now, but we did have 10 out in New Hampshire. Some in the southern New Hampshire, some in the Connecticut River Valley, and then some up north in the Androscoggin River Valley. So
Any preliminary data? How far did they? What was the greatest distance any of these hens went?
they're kind of still holding tight to their wintering areas. A lot of them get fed at certain
Oh,
wintering sites.
yeah.
So they sort of congregate in the winter. So none have really taken that migratory leap yet to go find a
Okay.
nesting site. We did have one bird move from Gorham went up to Pittsburgh, checked out there for a little bit, a couple days, and then it's now hanging out in the Connecticut River in Colebrook.
So this is just within the last week.
Yes, so that was our only northern movement so far, but nationally, there's birds from South Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, Maryland. Sorry, they have birds moving. So the
Okay.
southern birds are now pushing up
Okay,
north,
all
trying
right.
to find nesting sites.
All right.
So I'm sure it's only a matter of weeks here before our birds do the same, or maybe they'll choose a nest site in New Hampshire.
All right. I don't know how many birds are typically banded each year in New Hampshire. I mean, I was on the banding crew for decades, and we have the preseason banding in early fall before the hunting season, and then the winter banding. How many ducks on average are banded in New Hampshire every year?
Yeah, we usually get about 1,000 or more in preseason banding, and then in the winter, 500 to 600.
Okay.
So we do a lot of banding.
It's really an
Get a lot of bands
obligation.
out there.
If you want to have a duck season, the Fish and Wildlife Service really requires you to do some banding to understand your population. Is that
Yep.
kinda
We
correct?
get harvest rates and juvenile to adult ratios and sex ratios through that.
So it's
So
all
we learn a lot from the banding data, and then coupled with the transmitter data to really paint a nice picture of what's going on with the mallards. We're hoping,
Okay, great. Well, it's a lot of hard work catching ducks.
but a lot of fun work.
But
It's a rough job. But
those
somebody's
are
got
awesome
it.
duties.
Yeah.
I love firing that rocket
Oh,
net,
I
and
know. There's nothing like it.
it is a tremendous sound and a lot of smoke, and
Nothing like it.
and once the smoke clears, you're hoping you got a couple of dozen or more ducks.
Yep. It's a great
Awesome job, Jess. Thank you very much, and good luck on putting that band out there, or that telemetry unit. We'll look for some results in the future. I'll come back and talk to you later.
Great.
Thank you very much, Jess. This is
Thanks,
wildlife biologist Eric Orr for What's Wild in New Hampshire.